Hey, what's up, everyone? Christy Keenan here for SuperLobby.com. We have got our weekly Fantasy Premier League podcast for you. Couple of special guests. First and foremost, JJ Bull from the Telegraph newspaper in England. JJ, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Nice to have you on board, sir. We've also got my regular sidekick, David Copeland, the owner slash CEO slash main brain behind SuperLobby.com. David, got that webcam working, I can see.
Yeah, slight struggle with that. I'm here though, and that's what counts.
I love how a mind brilliant enough to conjure up SuperLobby.com can't work out a webcam, but that's okay. That's okay, David. We've got your picture, your thumbnail of you on the Wembley turf. So
That's it. That's all you need.
that's all we need. All right. First things first. The state of the industry today, David. Some big news, as always seems to be the case these days. Some big news in DFS. What's going on?
Ethan was cleared.
Ethan was cleared. If you guys don't know, and JJ, you might not know this, but an employee at DraftKings.com was accused of some sort of shady stuff, and turns out didn't do it.
That's good then.
Yeah,
No jail for him.
no jail for him. I don't think that
Is
was
it
ever.
internet jail, like real jail?
No, like that would have been actually it would have been no jail at all. To be honest, it would have probably been
Do
sacking.
you know what would be a really good punishment in actual jails rather than going to jail is cutting off they're not allowed to go on the internet. Imagine that.
Could you, like JJ? Remember seeing an interview with him on Sky TV a couple of months ago, where he was basically just like, "What were you just defending the internet?"
I was literally describing what the internet does.
You versus some.
She asked me the question and I didn't really know how to go with it, but I knew I had about 30 seconds to fill, so
So you just went with it.
just
JJ,
went with it.
what does the internet do? Is the place where we play fantasy sports. And David, the other news, of course, is that Stars Draft have pulled out in, what was it, all but 4 US states?
Yeah, so the quarter million NFL contest that they ran last Sunday, isn't going to run this Sunday. We're still waiting to see what type of contest they're going to put up, but it's 4 fairly populous states are still there, but obviously it's pretty decimating to what they had, and I'm sure it's an Amaya play, just trying to show how clean they are to the federal government, because obviously they're very keen to get poker to get back on side with poker. So that's their decision, and we respect that. It leaves a lot of daily fantasy sites still out there, so it's all good.
And yeah, is there like a hint of, okay, so Amaya have pulled Stars Draft out, by implication then, are all the other operators looking like not as legit all of a sudden? Not, I don't know, like legally grey. What do you think, David? Am I barking up the wrong tree there?
No, I mean, I think your logic sort of fair that you can have that logic, but I don't think that's actually what it means. I just think it's a very specific set of circumstances for Amaya and Stars Draft. I think they need to be taken out over to the side and discussed as a solo sort of entity. They've got other interests at play here.
Fair one. Fair one. Okay, let's move it on to today's DFS action. Right, first things first. JJ, tell me your daily fantasy sports experience.
So I woke up about half an hour ago. And then I went on the link you sent me. And what a great idea this is. Because now I don't have to be annoyed that my entire season is ruined by poor choices. Just the one day.
Just the one day.
That's perfect.
So you can either make money quicker or more likely lose
it.
money more often. Yeah.
But I don't mind. At least I tried. It's fine. I like that better.
So this is your very first experience of daily fantasy sports.
Yes.
And it's not like I've pulled some drooler off the street or anything. I mean, JJ's a respected journalist. I mean, he writes for the Telegraph.
Journalist.
Journalist. Okay. He writes for the Telegraph. Used to work for BT Sport. It runs an extremely popular and funny YouTube channel called.
What's the YouTube channel?
It's popular. What if you had well into the millions of views, tens of millions?
Not yet. A few. Well, actually, no. It's definitely a few million. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Being featured on all the news channels, Channel 4 News, no
Around
less.
the world. No
Around
less.
the world.
I know.
Pretty impressive. My favourite of all your videos, it's not gay if it's with Aaron Ramsey.
Yep, that goes down well.
Yeah, that was a big one. What else were there? What were the? I remember your Aberdeen FC Cup final song that went viral.
That was good, actually. They put it on the front page of the paper. Did you see that? The Press and Journal.
I did.
The local Aberdeen paper.
The local Aberdeen paper.
I know. I've got that framed in my room. You can actually see it.
Oh, isn't that great?
Isn't that good?
Let's pretend we could see that. That's
Yeah,
good.
you can.
No.
Yeah, there's a few of them I did all right. The cartoons are doing well now. So I do a series of animated cartoons, mostly for the Telegraph.
The Arsene Wenger trying to barter with a shop owner, absolutely hilarious. You got to check it out. Yeah, so Fitbathatba, JJ's YouTube channel, is extremely successful. This guy knows his football, let's put it that way. But JJ, you're a season-long player, not a daily player.
Yeah, I tend to play season-long football, fantasy football, and doing okay just now in the Telegraph fantasy football at the moment. My fantasy Premier League one's not going amazingly, but it'll come round.
Who are you? Sorry, David, on you go.
Sorry, no. So they allow you to play on your own fantasy football site. So if you work for the Telegraph, you're allowed to play with Joe Public along with that, or you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see. What is there? Some insider info going on?
Is there an insider? Are we breaking Are we actually on air breaking an insider trading scandal?
That would be so good.
I don't know why it wouldn't be. Is there a reason it wouldn't be allowed? It's not as if I can actually affect the points that players score. Are
you telling me that journalists can't actually affect outcomes?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried.
Yeah, it's JJ. If you're missing out on sort of the in joke here, it's that in daily fantasy sports, that guy Ethan that we were referring to earlier, that was kind of what he was accused of.
Oh, I understand.
So he was using allegedly and proven not to be the case, but he was accused of using information that only he had access to give him an edge.
Well, I know that Alexis Sanchez is going to score 3 this weekend.
So right, okay, then you're gonna make so much money on Mondogoal that it won't matter that the Telegraph fire you for.
Let's hope that doesn't come true.
Nice. All right, let's take a look at JJ's team. David, first things first. What do you make of this team? Give me your honest opinion.
Yeah, so there was, Sanchez obviously in there up top, who I think Wenger came out and said he's been playing fantastically well the last few games, but almost been playing too much football. I'm not totally convinced he might not be rested this week.
Okay, yep.
So that could be a slight concern. And will he play 90 minutes? I'm not sure. It looks like the sort of team that would win a game of football. I sort of mentioned this before. You've got a couple of nice centre halves, John Terry and Williams, but they don't tend to probably score that many fantasy points. And in daily fantasy, you need to sort of, as a defender, you need to either be keeping clean sheets, but really you need to be sort of crossing the ball. So it tends to be fullbacks and wingbacks that people tend to go for. You might get a goal from these guys might score from corners, I suppose. I mean, it definitely could happen.
It could happen.
That's the plan, yeah.
That's the plan. What were you thinking with Bassong? What was your thoughts in there?
He's tall and he goes up for corners. Well, he gets, if in order to get a score, they're playing West Brom, aren't they? Which will be just the most boring game of all time.
It's a chronic game, that.
I mean, you're not. They're just terrible. It's 2 terrible teams. Boring. So it's likely to be a set piece that kind of settles that game. Either that or someone like Redmond shoots from 30 yards and goes in. I think it'll be nice and close. Probably a 0-0, if not 1-0 either way. The most likely defender of either side to score would be someone like Bassong, I would have thought.
Mm-hmm. Okay, not Russell Martin.
No, he's had his goals.
That's it. He's used up his goals quota.
He's done for this season.
He's got his 3 for the next 10 years. He's done.
That was actually. I mean, I was sort of looking at that game because West Brom, definitely always low scoring games involving them, because you do get some bonus points for clean sheets. So I mean, there is a chance you might get Norwich keeping a clean sheet, bonus point, and you might get the goal for Bassong. So that could be probably what they call it, quite a low-owned guy that might actually boost you right up the rankings. So,
and of course, you've got Ashley
exactly.
Williams there, who Swansea are playing Villa, which is like the easiest clean sheet bonus you'll ever get.
Yeah, and also he goes forward for corners and is very good with his head in the box.
Well, that's kind of true. I think that actually, JJ, if I'm honest, I think you've got a cash game team going on here. And by that I mean you've got a team who, okay, so in daily fantasy sports, cash games basically short field events, so not many opponents, either one-on-one or just a small group, and half the field get paid. And I think your team here is going to be good enough to beat half of the field, but in order to win the big, this is the Mondo Goal 10K, you're going to need a couple of like wild card guys who are going to go and bang in a bunch of goals, or in the case of defenders, guys who are going to have some assists or maybe take free kicks or penalties, which is why Leighton Baines, I know he's injured at the moment, but Leighton Baines is always like the first pick on everyone's team sheet.
You see, these are my wild picks for the corners goals.
I love it. I love it. And going right, I'm actually just going to go through the team 1 to 11 for our listeners out there, for the people that are just listening to the audio and not watching. So we got Kasper Schmeichel in goal, Ashley Williams, Sebastian Bassong, John Terry. That's JJ's 3 defenders. Crossing midfield, Ozil, Gylfi the Great from Swansea, Ramires, and Payet from West Ham. Have we decided yet if it's Payet or Payet?
I don't know.
No.
Payet.
Then up front we got Jamie Vardy, Ighalo from Watford, and Alexis Sanchez from Arsenal. So as David said, this is definitely a team that could win a game of football. It's a really good team. We'll see how it plays out in fantasy terms. One of the main reasons that I was really eager for JJ to come on this podcast was because daily fantasy isn't huge in the UK right now, but we all know it's going to happen in the next year or so. DraftKings are going to come into the UK. I would imagine FanDuel will too. They're going to target guys who are exactly like JJ, and by that I mean young.
Like the personalities.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. But no, I mean, young, smart football fans who play season-long fantasy. You're gonna be the exact demographic that they go for. Can you see this becoming a habit? Can you see you being a daily fantasy player longer term?
Well, I've already signed up for an account with him.
You like your team so much that you put money in it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I need to. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, that'll probably win. I mean, we've established that the 3 centre backs will all score.
Yeah.
So I'm already 3 up.
Yeah, clear. At least.
Yeah. It's a really cool idea. Like it's a little bit. It's very addictive. I can tell already. I kind of want to play on Saturday and then Sunday.
Yeah, well, they do that now as well. They cater. We should probably go easy on the word addictive, because negative connotations.
Yeah. What word do I mean?
Enticing, alluring, enjoyable.
Not like drugs.
The opposite, if anything. So, all right.
Bear in mind, JJ is operating in a regulated market here in the UK with
that's true.
Significant help on hand should his excitement for daily fantasy spill over.
So yeah, you're sorted. Really, it's amazing.
Okay.
Like,
we have rehabs here, so it's all right.
We have rehab for people who enjoy putting money on things too much, maybe a little bit more than is healthy. David, is there anything further that you'd like to add towards JJ's team this week? Where do you see JJ's points coming from?
Vardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Vardy's like on fire, isn't he? Like, you just got to keep going with him. You can definitely score you a couple of goals. Payet, I think, he's really expensive. He's like the second most expensive player in one this week. But obviously, he's just like a point machine for West Ham.
He's created the most amount of chances in Europe, I think it is, already this season.
Yeah, it's frightening.
Really? Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, are you going to be at West Ham? Well, do you think he'll get snapped up, or
29, isn't he? 29.
Now I can't see him going anywhere. I think they've got him at exactly the right time. He'd be too expensive. I mean, you'd be £20 million to get him away from there now, and he's not worth it for the age.
Yeah,
right. I think Ramires is due a good week. He's not been great, and he was really cheap as well for Saturday, which meant he could get in Ozil who I think you're right about Sanchez, maybe Ozil as well, getting a wee rest, but I reckon Wenger will try and power them through the first 45, 50, 60 minutes to just really go for them because they were so patient against Bayern for that entire game. Right. And then take both of them off and let the young guys come on. You'd have maybe Walcott or Giroud, but you just don't know which one's going to start and which one's going to score. They tend to swap around, don't they? So
yeah, I was eyeing up Walcott. You just feel like if a few people are tired, you're going to bring on sort of a Energizer Bunny type, aren't you? You're going to bring on Walcott and let him run. Like Giroud's not really going to add much legs to the team if the team's already struggling.
Yeah, I don't know how Everton will set up because they were so poor against Man United that they've got to do something with it. And Arsenal are looking just red hot at the moment. Lukaku could have a good game, but I think Mertesacker and Cristiano will hold him down. I really think Arsenal will win that game if they just power through it the first little while. I don't think they'll have the legs to, like they did against Watford, where they kind of killed it in the last 15. I'm not sure they'll be able to do that this week because of the European exertions.
Does it not concern you a little bit, JJ, that this is exactly the sort of game that Arsenal traditionally stumble with? You know, they have the really big performance, and then they go just lose in a really kind of fragile way against the team that they should be beating.
In past, yeah, but do you know what it is? It's the balance they've got now. It's as simple as having Coquelin and Cazorla in there. In past, what you would do is for this game. I mean, he does it. I mean, he's an idiot if he does it. He'll play Arteta and someone else in the middle, and they'll just get walked all over. If they play against anyone with a high press and Arteta plays, they just get destroyed. I mean, it happened so many times the last few seasons. But if he keeps Coquelin in there and he's got Cazorla as well to run the game, Everton don't really have that much in the middle of the pitch that'll dominate them and they'll be able to control.
Are you saying that Cazorla is a better player than Gazbaz in the Everton midfield? Surely not.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't get what Martinez is. What's he doing? Like I don't know. They would do well in La Liga, Everton. They do really well now in the Liga. They finished 4th.
What? Why do you believe that?
Because they just kind of suit the short passing. I mean, they've got players like they're central midfield players. You've got Gareth Barry in there. I mean, he's 33, is he now?
Good age, like 34. He's not
dynamic. He doesn't run. He doesn't control the game properly. He gives away stupid bookings all the time. Barkley's coming good. Him and Lukaku will be the future. Deulofeu's not quite playing. I don't know. They're kind of like what Sociedad should be at the moment, but Moyes hasn't figured them out yet.
It's kind of frustrating, actually, when you think of that. It must be for an Everton fan when you think about the future and you think like Lukaku, you think Barkley, maybe Deulofeu, Seamus Coleman. They're just going to get bought by bigger clubs as soon as they start to fulfill their potential a bit, surely.
Well, I mean, that's the plan with Martinez now, is to keep them, isn't it? And try and keep them there. And what's the Moneyball rule is that you win more if you pay more wages. It sounds obvious, but you don't win money with transfer fees. You win money with wages.
Exactly. Your wage bill is the biggest predictor of a team's success. So rather than pay a
player for 30 million quid, just pay Barkley, 150 grand a week and keep him sweet and keep him there and keep them going.
But are players that are on 100k a week really motivated by the idea of 130k a week, or is it the idea of success that motivates them? I mean, I'm asking that almost rhetorically because I don't know.
Yeah. I guess it's got to be a lot of factors, isn't it? If you grew up in that team and you can see it coming good, it's kind of like Arsenal now. You could have said that they could have lost their players again because they've brought through that core group. That they'll not disappear, and they're adding quality to it now. There's rumours as well that Everton are getting bought out by one of the MLS owning groups as well.
Interesting.
Which could give them a lot of money.
David, let's bring you in on this one. Money versus motivation. What do you think?
Has to be motivation, hasn't it? You sort of got to skin it all back to what these were like as kids. And what got them there in the first place. It's not the dreaming of the wealth. I mean, all the dreamers, I think, fell to the side. These are the true sort of the true achievers, I think, that by the time they get to the first team. But I was really interested there listening to JJ's chat there about an MLS takeover of Everton.
I can't remember which team it is. It's maybe Portland or Seattle. I can't remember which one it is. But there are rumours that surfaced last week that they are really looking into buying Everton.
Can we call this an inside scoop?
No,
a Telegraph exclusive?
No, you can't call that.
Damn it.
I didn't get to any wire or anything. It was just things that surfaced. I don't know if it's true or not. It's one of those things you have to research before you actually report. But
we'll just put it live on the internet.
There are murmurs.
Yeah. What would that mean, David? What would that mean for Everton? Would that take them up that extra level that they really seek?
So. Nah, probably not. You need you need big money. You need oil money. You don't need some guy cutting down trees in Portland, Oregon. You need people dragging oil out the ground. You need billions, don't you? I mean, what would it really mean? It'd probably be quite nice that you would have Everton can send some of their players, younger players, over and get some game time in the MLS, and Everton would get first pick on the young superstars. Here's a question for you: if you had £1 billion, would you win the EPL within 2 years?
No chance.
No.
3 years.
With Everton, are you saying?
Yeah, with Everton.
No chance.
So
yeah. Well, but look at it this way: in the first year, you're not attracting the right players. The first year, your target has to be to get in the Champions League, because it's only then that you attract the elite players.
First year, you sign Robinho.
yes, exactly. Second year, Joe.
Yeah, I quite liked him. I quite liked him when he played for some mob in Russia.
Yeah, CSKA, I think. Yeah.
You would literally need to buy Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
To guarantee yourself a class above what Man City and Chelsea are buying.
Sign Zlatan. That would be the first signing I'd make, because you're not going to get Messi or Ronaldo. Those guys are not going anywhere in a hurry. But Ibrahimovic, consistently moves on every 2 or 3 years. I know he's like 33, but he's fit as a fiddle. People would want to play in the team with Ibrahimovic. So I think just by signing Ibrahimovic, you increase the likelihood of making other top signings. Does that make sense?
It does. Not with Zlatan, though. I think he's done.
You think so?
Yeah.
No chance. So good. JJ Bull, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Christy.
You're very welcome, sir. David, any final words for our viewer?
Well, I think we're just got to be very, very grateful for JJ giving time today and his efforts and his energy. I don't think we can underestimate what that took to get him out of bed this morning. So
I was genuinely asleep not long ago. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
The lad put in a shift.
He did indeed.
I work hard. What can I say?
Brilliant. Thanks, everybody. As always, check out superlobby.com. Hit us up on Twitter @superlobby. And we look forward to hearing from you. Bye, everyone.